Now we're going to move on to one more person, which is a little bit different. His investing is a little bit different than most people. But I like him. He's very interesting because he spends money like how I would spend my money in some ways. So his name is another shark called Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban. So he's the guy who owns the Dallas Mavericks, and he's on Shark Tank, and he created the app called Cyberdust and stuff, or invested in a company that made Cyberdust. So his name is Mark Cuban. So what does he do? He invests differently. So I guess I should say a few things here. He doesn't necessarily invest in the stock market. He prefers to invest capital into companies like directly, like handshake deals. So he likes to, so I guess I should say that. So he stays away from the stock market. Stays away from the stock market. From the market. And so why does he do that? Because he thinks it's too volatile for him. He doesn't trust it that much. And also the other thing he says too is he already has a lot of money in the bank. So actually 50% of his money is just in a checking account. Weird, eh? Half of his money is in a checking account because he doesn't want to invest it in the stock market, and he doesn't invest in companies that he doesn't believe in. So he likes saying that. He likes to invest in companies that don't rely on like one person. And one person isn't the brand. So he won't invest in someone who's like a speaker, or someone he won't invest in a big TV show or something like that where it relies on one person. He likes a company that can scale up and is a brand more than one person, which is it's common sense for any big investor, right? So that's what he does. He likes to invest capital. So he would be perfect for Silicon Valley, actually. He would be a good Silicon Valley investor because you can just go up and there's a freaking 1,000 startup tech companies there, and you can just go up and do a handshake deal with them and say like, okay, I want half the company for 200 grand. Anyways, moving on. So he doesn't like the stock market. So he has some tips on what the average person can do to grow their own wealth, which I found was interesting, and I agree with all of them, and I try my best to do these too. So, the best thing the average person can do to get rich is, anyone know? I'll give you a second here. Oh, this is so boring. Save money. So what does he mean by that? There's a few things that are kind of like subtopics of that. So, I mentioned this in one of my earlier videos. Not everyone has the capability of getting rich. Now, in my mind, I believe that anyone can become a millionaire, and if they have the knowledge to do so, and they can execute a plan well. But in terms of getting like multimillionaire to billionaire status, a lot of the times you need some luck. You need some luck for that sometimes. So most of the time. So in order to become rich, the best thing you can do is save your money. And so one tip that he gave to everyone is to be a smart shopper. Actually yesterday there was a person I ran into, or ahead of me in line at Walmart. Actually, yes, I shop at Walmart. I was actually buying. I think I was buying this, like these marker packs and stuff too. Anyways, I'm getting off track here. So I went to Walmart, and I had that person in front of me who was price checking everything. And so they would go to the store and be like, oh, hey, well, this store across the street is selling these tomatoes for 50 cents less. And they did that with every single thing. And there's a certain point where, like, to me, I wouldn't price check for 50 cents. I wouldn't price check for $1. For me, that number would have to be like, depending on what it is, like 5 to 10 to, I don't know, if it's something like a big purchase, like $50, okay? But this person was doing like 50 cents at a time. But they're a smart shopper. They're saving money. They're saving money. So even though like I got a little bit pissed off because there was like every single thing, at the end of the day, they're doing what's best for them and they're saving money. So again, price check things, be a good shopper, go try and get coupons and stuff like that. One thing that he said was, drink water over coffee. That may seem dumb because, some coffees, if you make them at home, are like 50 cents or $1, but that's still 50 cents or $1 a day. And, if you do that with a bunch of other things, and maybe, if you buy a coffee from Starbucks, that's $6. If you just go drink some water, then that's $6 a day. And that's doing some math there, that's $42 a week and over 4 weeks, and all of a sudden you're saving $160, right? $160 a month just from drinking water over Starbucks. Okay, so that's what he recommends. Eat some mac and cheese instead of going out and buying a burger. One thing which he says is extremely important, and I half agree with this, I half don't agree with it, and I'll explain in a second, is don't use credit cards. So don't use credit. Don't take out credit. Don't buy. He had this famous video online, and the title was "Only Morons Start a Business on a Loan." And I kind of agree with that I somewhat agree with that. There are certain situations, if you are confident that your business is going to take off, it is good to start a business on a loan because you get to keep more equity in the company. So that would be good for people that are starting businesses that already are bringing in income. That's when it's good to, get a loan out on a small business. But he thinks that if you're just starting out, like just starting out and just have the idea, or just starting to build a product, then it's better to get some sort of venture capital money. So someone that is willing to give you money for equity in your company, which I agree with, actually. So I agree with Mark Cuban there in general, but I just think that there are certain situations where a loan is better, and there are certain situations where equity is better, or venture capital money, I should say. And so he also says, don't use credit cards and stuff. It's that old saying, if you don't have the money, don't buy it, right? Which I agree with 100%. There are some situations, there are some credit cards where you barely have to pay any sort of fee, and if you pay on time, you'll end up getting points which you could use for rewards, for trips, so you'll end up making money. Sometimes if you pay off everything on time, and then you collect those rewards. So sometimes credit cards can be good, but I would say for the average person, they're probably not. Because a lot of the times people get behind, they don't pay their credit card bill, and then that adds up, and then you have to pay interest on that, and then you can't pay it next month, and you have to pay more interest, and all of a sudden you're in this credit card debt. And so I understand what Mark Cuban is saying there. So those are just some investment strategies from 3 kind of different people. So we went over Warren Buffett. He likes to invest a lot of money in one company at a time, and he owns the company Berkshire Hathaway, which buys a bunch of companies. We looked at Kevin O'Leary, who likes to diversify and invest a lot of money in high dividend paying stocks, and doesn't really, he diversifies more than almost any investor I know. And we got Mark Cuban, who he doesn't even like to invest in the stock market. He likes to invest in companies straight up, and he keeps a lot of money in cash. And so he's an investor in a different way. Saying that, if I had $1 billion, I would definitely buy a sports team. He bought the Dallas Mavericks when they were cheap for a few $100 million, and now they're worth $2 billion, $1.5 billion, $1 billion. And man, the value of sports teams is only going to go up as TV goes the way of the dinosaur, because sporting events are the only real kind of show which you have to watch live in order to get that feeling. Because, if you, for example, where am I going with this? It doesn't matter. But if you were to go on Facebook and the game already finished and you T-vote it, you would know the score, because one of your friends would posted it, and you'd be like, okay, well, that just ruins everything. Now I don't know who's going to win, right? So, live sporting events, that's why the valuation of sports teams has gone way up in the past 2 decades or so. It's because of stuff like that. This is the one kind of stream of media which you have to watch live, the live sporting events. So that's going to wrap it up. What do you guys think of Mark Cuban? What do you guys think of his style of keeping a lot of his money in cash and only investing in companies if he gets to meet the person face to face? What do you think of that? What do you think of him on Shark Tank? I think that he's my second favorite shark. Is he still on? Oh, I haven't watched that show in a year. But him and Kevin O'Leary are my favorite sharks on there. Although Robert Herjavec was good, and they're all good in there. But anyways, so that's going to wrap it up. Leave a comment if you have a question. Let me know. On YouTube, I'll see you guys tomorrow. And on Periscope, I'll probably see you guys on Periscope in a week, maybe. And I'm going to try and get some better lighting for here because it was kind of weird and glary. So anyways, I just want to thank you very much for watching. And you are all very beautiful people. I will see you guys next time.